while everyone in the United States who pretty much needed it was getting access, no one in Africa was getting it. They were all dying it. So, and there was no need for that. And President Bush always said that. Why should they die and we live when we have something? He was not only doing it in a central hospital, he was opening up these little clinics run by nurses in the most remote areas. And doctors would come every 2 weeks, and people could afford it, were buying antiretroviral therapy. And then in the eastern part of Uganda, the US CDC, in combination with a great organization, TASO, which is a community-based organization, came up with the idea of it's really hard to get into clinic. So they started delivering by motor scooter antiretroviral therapy to people's homes. And I went out on these motor scooters, and I can tell you it was impossible to get to these villages and these homes. But they were doing it by scooter. They had to actually soup up the scooters because even a regular motor scooter couldn't get out there. And you go out for 2 hours in a little village, and people in a family in a hut knew their viral load, their CD4 cell count. Everyone had been tested, and they were taking their drugs every day, twice a day. So the public health community that literally said we couldn't do something as complicated, Africans could never do something as complicated, they were actually coming up with a solution. So it's really just getting the numbers, how much it costs to build those clinics, how much it did, and then doing it bottom up. But could you do that globally based on 2 little pilot projects? Who knew? But that's what the plan became. And then what really matters, there are multiple parts of success to something like that. One is the political leadership, and that really was just present. Without President Bush, we counted at the time of the State of the Union, there were 177 presidential initiatives. There's probably one the president knew about, PEPFAR. He inherited a bunch of them, and there were a whole bunch of things that people call presidential initiatives. But this was his, and everyone knew it was his. And so you need that political leadership. He called in the members of Congress who weren't passing the legislation that he wanted passed. He excoriated them in the East Room. He made sure the budget got passed. He was there at every moment, and he sent the signals through the bureaucracy. This is mine. You will not mess it up.